Hey, good on morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you're watching in the world. This is Harry from Hasbro TV, and I'm here to talk about Heung-min Son for a few minutes because I do think we need to talk about him again. I mean, he scored a goal yesterday, so obviously a lot of people, as a natural reaction, as soon as Son scored, are like, "Oh, we should start Son against Chelsea." But for me, I actually think that's the wrong way to go about it. Son this season has consistently been poor, whether people like to hear it or not. And ironically, his best performances have come off the bench. Even because everyone likes to talk about stats, right? Statistically speaking, Son has like one goal, one deflected goal, by the way, one deflected goal against Crystal Palace in 20 starts in the Premier League. And he has 4 goals off the bench. The hat trick against Leicester, and obviously yesterday is the other one, in 4 bench appearances. So I think the stats kind of speak for themselves in this sense because some defenders like to talk about stats. So there you go, mate. And yeah, so like for me, I appreciate Son scored yesterday, but if we look at on the whole, Son for me, I wouldn't start him against Chelsea. I think other players like Richarlison, even Danjuma to a lesser extent, even though I'm not his biggest fan, deserve a chance over him. Especially Richarlison, who in his defence, I'm sorry, he's been playing on the right a lot because of Son playing on the left so much. Give Richarlison a proper run. Let's see what we can actually do rather than throwing Son back in straight away just because he scored a goal off the bench, which arguably was probably harder to miss. Yeah, and I actually think in the 2 games that Son came on against Leicester and obviously West Ham, the game kind of played to his favour because West Ham obviously were winning 1-0. West Ham obviously trying harder and harder and harder to score a goal because they had to get him back in the game, and they pushed so many people up. And the same with Leicester. I mean, we're 3-2 up. Son came on and scored a hat trick, and yeah, the game kind of suited him because they were stretched. There were more spaces in behind, and like I said, in my opinion, Son, I still wouldn't start him against Chelsea. I still stick with the Richarlison, Kulusevski, and Kane combination, whether people like it or not, because actually think Son is more likely to make an impact off the bench. And also, if you look at it overall, I just think I don't know. I'm still in 50 about Son in terms of like what we're going to do with him in the summer because you look at how his performance levels have dropped after the Golden Boot, right? It's like I know he scored the goal, and people say we need to reward him for the next game, but I actually think you're not going to really get what you think out of Richarlison, right? If you don't actually give him a run of games, right? Yeah. So give Richarlison a proper run of games. Let's see what we can actually do. Maybe he'll score against Chelsea, and everyone will suddenly think, "Oh, maybe Richarlison is actually good." But if Richarlison's barely hadn't started on the left in the Premier League, I think he started 2 or 3 times off the left in the Premier League, and you've got Son who scored like started like 20. It's not really a fair comparison, yeah. And then in the cups, there the goal returns quite similar. Don't forget, obviously, in the Preston game, Richarlison wasn't fit enough to play. So, but you saw what Richarlison did in the World Cup. If you give him supply, he'll get you goals. But in that team, he was playing consecutively. Even when he didn't score, obviously, Richarlison, he still carried on playing for Brazil, and he still made an impact. And it's like, to me, you need to afford. It's no point in saying, "Oh, Son put Son back in the team because he scored," because other players deserve a longer run in the side. I'm sorry, and it's you can't. Like, for me, I can't really judge a player at Tottenham before he plays at least like 10 games in a row, something like that. 10, 15 games, and 10 games. Let's say 10 games as a round number in a row. Apart from that, how can I sit here and slate Richarlison for his performances when he's played like 2 starts, and then the rest and the other games he's played, I'm saying 2 starts off the left. The games he's played off the right majority, right? And that, we all know that's not his position. If someone was playing on the right and playing poor, I'm sure some people who defend someone will say, "Oh no, look, but he's playing on the right." So it goes 2 ways. It goes both ways. This is not a Son Roger chance and debate. I'm just saying other players deserve a longer run in the side based on Son's overall performances. And plus, Son's best performances this season have come off the bench. So it's a win-win, yeah. So for me, next game, Son, you're on the bench. I don't care. You're on the bench, and I'll say we stick with the 3 that we played against West Ham. And this is Harry, and I'm out.